Yo, YouTube, hope you're doing well, hope you're blessed, on your purpose, get to a bag, all that good shit. Here we are, back at We Work, getting some work done today, this nice Tuesday morning. And I was just reflecting on this interview I had watched yesterday. It was with this guy, his name's Grant Mitt. It was on Ryan Pineda's YouTube channel, check it out. And it was about sales. You know, this guy, he had done over $50 million in solar sales, built big sales teams, expanded, and he was just kind of breaking down his philosophy and principles on sales, which made me reflect and kind of consider my own philosophies and principles on sales. So if y'all don't know, I do high ticket sales currently as my full-time job, full-time employment. What I sell right now is a career accelerator. So we help people find better jobs. It's called Relentless. If you're looking for a better job, hit me up. But you know, I've been doing this the past 5 or 6 years, just like full-time online sales consultant. You know, never not having a 9 to 5 or something like that, just fully working remote online. Done over 2.5 million in sales myself, I would say. So over this time period, I've learned the key, some key things that's helped me out, and what I've observed from great communicators, great people who thrived in this profession of selling things to people, right? So I think the reason why sales and selling has a bad connotation or sometimes gets a bad rep is because of the frame that people are approaching it with. So if you're familiar with this channel and you're familiar with the content, you'll be familiar with frames and how the way that we frame our world, the way that how we frame ourselves in this world, ultimately is what will create our reality, right? So I think that the most influential communicators, especially in a sales context could be, you selling something over the phone, or you're trying to, you have a deal that you're trying to pitch to an investor, or you're trying to, to go door to door, or you meet somebody out and you want to pitch them this idea, you want to hop on the phone. So any of these environments to which you're trying to influence someone to make a decision that involves them giving you money. The reason why I think others are more successful than some other people in this type of profession, in this type of situation, is again the way that they view not only the situation but themselves. So just like with any change, any breakthrough, any next level that we go to in our lives, we must adapt to a different identity. Well, I think the same is true for going to the next level in our skill set when it comes to sales. So what do I mean by this? Let's stop beating around the bush, right? Well, I call it the 4 levels of sales, right? So you have level 1, which is just sales. Somebody goes into it with a transactional mindset. I'm trying to sell this to this person in order to make more money, to help them, whatever it may be. Whatever the motive is, at that fundamental level, you view yourself, your identity, your frame of reference as I'm selling something. Now, I think the next level where people become more effective is when they take it from, oh, I'm in sales, or oh, I'm trying to sell something, to influence. I'm an influencer. I'm not just doing the profession of selling or doing the job of selling something. I'm also influencing this person to change a belief, to change a behavior, to change a decision-making process. I'm ultimately influencing this person to change in a way to become someone who would say yes to going forward, right? Because usually the reason why someone is needed to sell something is because when they got introduced to the product or service, the person wasn't ready to go forward, and therefore you speak to a salesperson and they put you through a process that changes you into the person who is more likely to go forward, or who is going to go forward. And that's ultimately when the sale is made, is when that change or transformation happens. Now, you can approach transformation from a influence perspective, right? And view yourself from that playing field. However, I think the game becomes even more effective when you switch from the influencer paradigm and you switch to more of a leadership paradigm. So the next level of sales, the next level of influence from becoming a influencer rather than a salesperson is becoming a leader rather than an influencer. Because what does leadership um, presuppose? Well, when you're an effective leader, you're first effectively leading yourself. So not only does this approach the way that you are having this conversation or are communicating with someone, but it should change the way that you live your life. It should change the way that you carry yourself. It should change your habits. It should change how you show up in the world for yourself. And then that internal change of self-leadership is going to reflect on others, because the only way through effective leadership, or to have effective leadership, is to be effectively leading yourself first. So when you come from the influencer paradigm, it's a lot easier to say, oh, well, I can influence this person to do something else because I know the tools and tactics and tricks. However, to take that step from influencer to leader, you have to implement and embody success traits, success habits, success mindset, success skills. And you have to cultivate those if they're not already there. You have to grow, and you have to change, and you have to overcome challenges and temptation and bullshit in life, right? So taking that challenge to stepping into your leadership, to step into this next version of yourself, is only going to make you a more resilient person, stronger, wiser, better person, but it's also going to make you a more effective communicator, influencer, in this context that we talking about in this video, salesperson. You know, when you coming at it from a conversation, like if I'm, having a conversation with somebody, I'm trying to get them to go forward on this offer of helping them see their next role with someone who's been at their same job for the past 10 years. They kind of, don't necessarily hate it, but they know they're not living up to their full potential. Well, I have to communicate in a way that shows what I've done in my personal life in order to grow and break through a level where I felt like I was at. So I may share a story about how, when I was in college, I had to drop out, even though that was the more comfortable path, and take this path. And a lot of times we don't like to hear like firsthand experiences, because we think like, oh, this person thinks they're better than me. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll relate it to someone else's situation. So I'll label them with the trait that I'm looking for them to have. In this case, courage, willingness to change, willingness to step outside. And I'll say something like, oh, well, we all know that the smartest people in the world understand that change is inevitable, and the only thing that we can do is adapt and figure out how to make the best use out of it. Or Albert Einstein said it best, doing the same thing over and over again is just insanity, implying that, we need to change in order to grow. So I'll make these analogies, or I'll talk about these situations where people who they want to be like, or if they're looking at myself like that, all took certain actions in order to get them to not only transform and become a different person, but ultimately go forward with whatever you're trying to pitch yourself. Hope this is making sense. And the last level, which we've kind of alluded to, but I think it wraps it all together. And again, when we think about improving results, one of the best foundations and principles I've came across in my life is change comes from identity first. So it comes top down, like who I am, and then your thoughts change, your feelings change, your actions change, therefore your skills is going to change, therefore your personality is going to change, therefore everything else changes. But it starts with that decision to become a different person. And who is that identity that we should all have when we go into any sales context, influencer context, leadership context? The identity I believe we all should have, and what I try to adopt myself coming on this video, speaking to people every day on a sales call, or just interacting with my everyday environment, is this identity that I'm an agent for change. I'm an agent for transformation. I'm an agent for breakthrough. So basically making it my mission to create change on this world from, where people are, which is most likely not at their potential, not at their maximum, not the best version of yourself, and equipping myself with the strategies, the tools, the mindset, the frameworks that create positive change, that create leveling up, that create growth. And then when I learn those myself, now I'm able to communicate those to others in a way that can empower them to make better decisions, make better choices, and step up in their life and really, own who they could really be. So hopefully this provided some value, and I want to give that challenge or that, open suggestion to you all who are watching, which is become an agent of change. Become someone that has the sales ability, that has the ability to influence, that understands psychology, but understands it to a level to where you implement it in your own life. Now you're leading your own life, and now you're inspiring the others if they see you just living your everyday life. And from that standpoint of leadership, you can start to really impact and really make the positive changes that you want to see on the world, which is at least what I believe. I've gotten tons of feedback and positive feedback loops from making these changes and these mindset changes in my life, from growing this YouTube channel to growing my bank account to having more freedom to having more people reach out and say how I've impacted their life or helped them in certain ways. So I hope this has impacted you in some type of way. Hope you use it and become an agent of change, and hopefully that change is for good. And I think that this will bring a lot of blessings and a lot of rewards back into your life. So if you enjoyed the video, like the video, comment what you want to see next down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.